Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of polling data to share with you guys about Donald Trump and his failing and cruel policies. So before I get into all these details, please do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button below this video. It is free for you. Really, really helps the show. I greatly appreciate it. So first up is a Pew Research poll. This was conducted earlier this month. And Trump's approval rating in this poll is down to only 38%, with a 60% disapproval rating. This same pollster has Trump at 47% approval had at the beginning of his presidency, and Trump's support has eroded with all age groups, but it's very clear to see where he's losing the most ground and why this is tanking so hard so fast. So check this out. If you look at this image, for those on the podcast, I'll explain. I'm sharing a graphic. This was created by Pew, and it shows that Trump voters under the age of 35 are the most critical of how Trump is doing his job. So at the beginning of his term, he had, as you guys can see on the screen, a 92% approval rating with that age group. Now it's down to 69%. So only 69% of Gen Zers, people under the age of 30, approve of Donald Trump's performance. And if you look over on the left, this is just infuriating. When Trump took office, he had a 45% approval rating, if you look at the yellow line, with people who didn't bother to vote. Didn't vote at all, 45% approved of Trump. Now that's down to 32%. So, I mean, what were they thinking? And it's not a mystery about why this is happening, what's dragging Trump down. His policies are wildly unpopular with anyone outside of the cult. And, you know, he's failing to help average Americans, which everyone is pissed off about. And that's been made worse by the passage of the Republicans' big butt ugly bill. So we know this because we see it in the polling data, right? So look at this. Only 32% of these Pew poll participants approve of this bill. Those are the people all the way to the right, somewhat and strongly approve. There's only 11% who strongly approve. 46% disapprove of this bill. And in regard to Trump's tariffs, the numbers are even worse than that. So look at this one. Only 38% approve of Donald Trump's tariffs, 61% disapprove. And then check this one out. So Pew asked respondents if Trump is making the government work better or worse. A majority, 53%, said no, he's making it worse. Only 27% said he's making it better. Those are the Kool-Aid drinkers. Those are the ones who are off in La La Land. They're, you know, in cult city. And then look at these answers. So 51% said Trump is not mentally sharp. 56% said he doesn't keep his promises. 63% now say that he doesn't care about the needs of ordinary Americans. 63% said that he is not honest. And 70% said he is not a good role model. So that includes, just by default, some people who voted for him. And then he's also underwater on all issues and all policies, including immigration, including what used to be his strong suit. So take a look at this one. 70% disapprove of the way Donald Trump is handling the Jeffrey Epstein issue. That includes 53% of Republicans and independents who lean Republican as well. So not just Republicans, but people who lean to the right. So not good for Trump and the Republicans. And this is by far, this is not the only poll that shows his abysmal numbers. So check this one out. In the latest Economist and YouGov poll, a majority, 54% of respondents, said that the country is headed in the wrong direction. Only 36% say, yeah, we're on the right track. And then look at this. They also have Trump with a 44% favorability rating and 52% unfavorable. So again, this is different poll. And then look at this one. Even 12% of the respondents who voted for Donald Trump, so you see that at the lower right-hand corner of your screen, this is based on vote. So this is his favorability or unfavorability based on who they voted for. 12% of Donald Trump's own supporters, of his own voters, view him now unfavorably. And Trump's job approval numbers are even worse. So take a look at this. 42% approve of the job that he's doing. 54% disapprove of the job that Donald Trump is doing as president. And again, if you look all the way down at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see 13% of the people who voted for Donald Trump just last November disapprove now of the way he's doing his job. And as with the Pew poll, the first one that I shared with you, he is underwater on every single issue with the exception of crime. That is the only thing that they found favorable. So I'm going to run through some of these numbers for you real quick on his favorability and unfavorability. Now, that's not it. Okay, so on jobs in the economy, 41% approve, 52% disapprove, including 13% of Trump's own voters. On inflation and prices, only 35% approve, 58% disapprove, including 22% of Donald Trump's voters from last year. In regard to immigration, 47% approve, 48% disapprove, so obviously much closer, but also 12% of his own voters disapprove. And only 25% of respondents said that the economy is either good or excellent. A combined 72% said that it is either fair or poor. Also, a plurality of 48% said that the economy is getting worse. Only 24% said it's getting better. And then take a look at this. YouGov also asked about the Epstein investigation, just as Pew did. Only 20% approve of how Trump handled this issue or how he's handling it. 59% disapprove, including, again, if you look down to the bottom right-hand corner, 35% of voters who voted for Trump in 2024 disapprove of the way he's handling the Epstein case. And then look at this one. So they asked, before investigations into Jeffrey Epstein began, how much do you think Donald Trump knew about sex crimes committed by Epstein against underage girls? 71% of the respondents said that Trump either knew some or a lot about Epstein's crimes. That included 56% of Trump's voters. So he's not fooling anyone. And then, as with other polls, recent polling shows that Democrats, recent generic ballot polls show that Democrats have an advantage in the congressional ballot or on the congressional ballot issue or question. So 38% said if they were to vote today, if the election was held today, they would vote for a Democrat. And only 35% said that they would vote for a Republican. And look down at the bottom, 6% not at the very bottom right-hand corner, but 6% of the people who voted for Donald Trump just last year said that they would defect and they would vote for a Democrat if the election was held today. What's even more telling is if you look at the other numbers at the top section, or the top of the bottom section, I should say, this is even more telling because 86% of Harris voters, of Kamala Harris voters, said that they would stick with a Democrat, whereas only 79% of the Trump voters committed to voting for a Republican candidate. So very much Democrats are sticking together more. Republicans, no, they're not happy. And then take a look at the polling on Trump's big butt ugly bill. Actually, I have a video for you guys on this one. Take a look and listen.
Every single poll, it is underwater. Minus 10, minus 14, minus 19, minus 22, minus 22. Elections are won and lost in the center of the electorate. You know what the favorable rating is in this bill among independents? It's 30%. What is the unfavorable rating? Look at this. Wow. 69%. That is a net favorable rating among independents of minus 39 percentage points. If this is what the election is about, you can wave adios amigos, goodbye to that Republican majority in the House, and you may be able to say adios amigos, goodbye to that Republican majority in the Senate. I went back, I looked at every single major piece of legislation that was passed since 1990. The most unpopular bill that was passed, guess what it is? It's the big, beautiful bill.
Even worse than Obamacare?
Even worse than Obamacare. At minus 8 points was Obamacare. Look at where the big, beautiful bill is. 17 points under where there simply put isn't anything close to how unpopular the big, beautiful bill is.
Yeah. This is why they're hiding, right? And it's not hard to figure out why everyone hates this bill. It strips social safety nets, right? It takes assistance away from the poorest Americans and at the same time hands money to the wealthiest people in this country. And for any Trump supporter who's hate watching this right now, yeah, you're getting a few little crumbs, a few little tax breaks up front that are temporary, while the tax cuts for the rich are permanent. And guess what? He's giving you those little crumbs and then taking money out of your pocket in other ways. So you will end up upside down. So if you got hustled on that, sorry, you're in for a rude awakening when you file your taxes. And Trump's numbers are suffering as a result of this bill. So take a look at this. This is a direct result of the big butt ugly bill. Morning Consult asked poll respondents if they're currently receiving Medicaid assistance, and they found that among the people who are receiving that assistance, Trump's approval rating is worse than with the general population. So among Medicaid recipients, as you see here, Trump's approval rating is only 34%. His disapproval rating is 55%. So with the general population, people who aren't receiving Medicaid, it's 36 and 52% respectively. And then the University of Irvine in Southern California, which is in my neck of the woods, they conducted a poll and they found that 61% of Orange County, California residents want undocumented immigrants to be given a path to legal status. 61%. In Orange County, it's more split nowadays. It's almost 50-50. Actually, Democrats have a tiny advantage. It used to be heavily Republican, like especially around the Ronald Reagan era, hardcore right-wing Republican county. And it's so clear, you guys, that we are being ruled by the tiny minority in this country. This is how we know. Approximately 8 in 10 Democrats and almost 7 out of 10 independents agreed that the immigrants should have a chance, undocumented immigrants should have a chance to become citizens. 6 in 10 Republicans, though, said no. I want them deported. So that's who we're being ruled by. Vast majority of the country disagrees, but this is what we're going with because we're ruled by the minority. And they can, scream all they want about how, oh, we're the silent majority. No, you're not. You're neither silent and you're not the majority. Just get over it. You guys are like, screaming, screeching fishwives. And no, you're not the majority. You are the minority, especially the cult that is good with whatever Donald Trump does. He could literally take a, bowel movement on their head and they would be like, oh, I think it smells like chocolate ice cream. I mean, there is no bottom with these people. Anyway, all right, guys, I'll leave you with that, with that visual in your head of a poop emoji on a MAGA man's head or on his hat. All right. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.